Good evening, you're watching the Friday edition of Breaking News. I'm Rishika Barua. BJP's Tajinder Bagga's arrest drama today has snowballed into a dramatic tug-of-war involving 3 state police forces. Now, this has raised many deeper questions on the conduct of the police, who appear to be bidding for their political masters with very little or no consideration really for the rule of law. First, let's tell you what happened today, because it is indeed a very interesting story that played out for about 7 hours today morning. An FIR, it all started with this. An FIR was originally filed against Tajinder Bagga, a BJP leader, on the 1st of April for false communal inflammatory statements in media interviews and Twitter posts threatening Arvind Kejriwal. The Punjab Police says that it served 5 notices to Bagga on the 9th, 11th, 15th, 22nd and 28th of April. Finally, at 8:30 a.m. today, they landed up at his house in Delhi and arrested him. His father has alleged in an interview to NDTV that he was manhandled by the cops, his phone was snatched and taken away. At around noon, Tajindar's father filed an abduction complaint with the Delhi Police. The Delhi Police was quick to register an FIR and moved the Dwarka court and interestingly got a search warrant to find Bagga. Parallelly, at around 12:15, the Punjab Police cavalcade, that is carrying Tajinder Bagga from Delhi to make him appear at a court in Mohali, is stopped in Kurukshetra in Haryana. Now, Bagga is taken to a cop station, and the Punjab Police at this juncture, interestingly, is accusing the Haryana Police of illegally detaining their team. They asked the Haryana Police to release their team. At this point, it has become a Punjab Police versus a Haryana Police battle. But it doesn't end there. At around 2:15, the Delhi Police team reaches Kurukshetra, and on the strength of that search warrant that was issued by the Dwarka court a few hours earlier, they finally get custody of Tajinder Bagga and he is brought back to Delhi. So that's roughly how the drama has played out today. But a very similar script played out very recently when the anti-BJP MLA Jignesh Mevani was arrested by the Assam Police. The Assam Police arrested Mevani for a tweet against the Prime Minister. Tajinder Bagga today was arrested for a tweet against Kejriwal. The Assam Police also dragged Jignesh Mevani out of his house in Gujarat. Very similar scenes, as you know, played out today. The local Barpeta court in Assam had pulled up the police, asking if this is a police state and even questioned the police excesses in the case. Today, the Punjab court has asked how the Haryana police could intervene in a Punjab police arrest. There are more such cases. It doesn't end there. The Pune police arrested Varavara Rao from Hyderabad in 2018. The Delhi police cyber cell had arrested activist Disha Ravi from Bangalore. A man living in Chennai was arrested by the Uttar Pradesh police for a video criticizing the Prime Minister, and the list really goes on. The question we're asking on the show tonight is the politicization of our police force just complete with the turn of events that this entire arrest drama has taken today? It has literally been an AAP police versus a BJP police that has played out. Delhi police versus Haryana police versus Punjab police. Indeed, very shameful and throwing up, like I said, some very important questions. Joining us on Breaking Views, we have Sumit Chandar, advocate of the Supreme Court, Abab Singh Grewal, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer, Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, Mahesh Verma of the BJP. Thank you all very much for being with us. Yashovardhan Azad, I want to begin by asking you your first reaction really to the way this entire drama today has played out. It is a very sad reflection of the state of affairs as far as our police services are concerned, because it really did appear that they were just following instructions of their political masters and nothing more.
I think you rightly said that the politicization of the police appears to be complete. Let me say that the politicization of the police did not start now. It had started much earlier. But of course, it's acquired a very dangerous dimension today. And some of the instances that you pointed out, they're absolutely horrifying. Now, in the case of Bagga, I think, first of all, none of the sections which have been invoked should have actually been invoked, because this was a simple tweet. In the case of Mevani against, I think that tweet again did not require this kind of a case to be instituted. In fact, both the cases were fit as defamation cases and nothing else. Unfortunately, what has happened is that when the state government thinks that it cannot take care of anyone politically, they are using their police force to go into other states and effect these arrests. But the problem is, even then, the protocols are not being followed. In the case of Punjab police, when they went to Delhi, they have been serving several notices under Section 41 to this gentleman, and he didn't respond. Of course, his lawyers were replying. Yes. The easiest thing would have been not to need to arrest him at all. Because this was not a very, very critical case that the Punjab police would look into, like drugs or anti-drone measures and things like that. They could have put up a charge sheet after doing the investigation. So the whole wrong started right there, and then it was compounded by Delhi police, which reacted with alacrity and setting up a kidnapping case. So the Kurukshetra battle, which was known for something else, became a battle and became actually virtually a joke.
Well, that's a nice way to put it. The battle for Kurukshetra really redefined in a certain sense today. But I think, you kind of agree with me when I say that it is a sad reflection of the times. Vikram Singh, I want to draw your attention here. A, do you agree with Yashovardhan Azad? And B, I also want to ask you because, like I said at the very outset, the Tajinder Bagga case is a case in point of what has happened. A very similar story played out with Jignesh Mevani, at which time the Barpeta court, a local court in Assam, had actually urged the Guwahati High Court to intervene and ask for police reforms because they were so shocked at the way, it was almost like a police state, the way action was taken against Mevani.
Absolutely, Rishika. I'm in total agreement with my illustrious colleague, Mr. Azad. Yes, Rome was not built in a day, but it seems that it can certainly be demolished in a very small span of time. The police edifice that came up in 1861, I did not know that I would live long enough to see this kind of degradation of police performance and police credibility. All-time low, and everything went wrong. The Punjab police comes, gives notices, okay, but you should have taken pains to get also the GD entry in the police station. They said they went to the police station. Okay, if they did not cooperate, you should have gone to the ACP, DCP, Special Commissioner, Police Commissioner, asked your higher-ups to have communicated with the Police Commissioner of Delhi. That did not happen. Picked up the person, take him, and then did not take a transit remand under the pretext that you would have reached Mohali in 6 hours. That is presumptuous on your part, because if you're taking him beyond the 30 kilometers, the mandatory the first 30 kilometers, and also outside the district, outside the state, it is mandatory for you to take a transit remand. And if they had produced him before the transit magistrate, rest assured, as Mr. Yashovardhan Azad has said, he would have seen the FIR and thrown it into the dustbin in no time, because certainly no case is made out. My last point, any offence that does not carry a punishment of more than 7 years, bail and not jail should be the rule of law, and not that this is the way we go for terrorists and jihadis, not for those accused of technical offences.
No, I think questions need to be asked, like we're asking questions of the conduct of the police, questions of course need to be asked of both the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, and I will bring in both the spokespersons in just a moment. But I also want to understand, Sumit Chandar, from you, what does the law say when it comes to interstate arrest? Because, like we've been talking about the politicization of police, I think it's also very important to issue a legal clarification at this point. What is the protocol that needs to be followed if the Punjab police wants to enter New Delhi and arrest Tajinder Bagga?
So, Rishika, the law with respect to the interstate investigation has been made very clear in the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Arnesh Kumar versus State. Now, this is a 2014 judgment where the Supreme Court lays down the guidelines for interstate investigation.
Okay.
And before laying down the guidelines, the Supreme Court makes it very clear, and I'll quote Supreme Court on this, where the Honorable Supreme Court said that the power to authorize detention is a very solemn function. It affects the liberty and freedom of citizens and needs to be exercised with great care and caution.
Okay.
You cannot use this power casually. Now, there are provisions under Section 78 and 79 CRPC which mandates involving the local police of the jurisdiction where the arrest is to be made. Those are the questions which needs to be seen. So, in the guidelines, Supreme Court lays down how you're going to take the consent, the approval from the magistrate, how you're going to come here, involve the local police, and it goes on further to state that in case the officers they fail to comply with these guidelines given by the Honorable Supreme Court, they can be punished with contempt of court, and those officers are also liable for departmental action against them by their appropriate High Court.
AAP Singh Grewal, I want to bring you in here because there are several questions that are being asked today over the conduct of the Punjab Police. Did you inform the Delhi Police, the Janakpuri police station, before or after you had actually picked up Tajinder Bagga from his home?
Well, ma'am, there are three dimensions to this thing. First is the legal dimension. The Punjab Police served him 5 notices. The Punjab Police went to the Janakpuri police station, the DSP went there, and he was detained yesterday. After they nabbed Mr. Bagga, they went again, and the Delhi Police didn't cooperate. The gentleman who was saying that
you're saying your police official was detained by the Delhi Police yesterday when they went to intimate them of the arrest?
Yes, ma'am. There is CCTV evidence of that. Yes, I'm saying that very responsibly. Number one. Number two is the reason we did this. The reason we did this was that the hate mongers from the BJP who stitched up the whole thing in Patiala the other day. What happened was there were 2 groups from both sides. The Shiv Sena is just a name. They're all BJP workers who've been given security, central security. They tried to rake up a dead issue. And I bet you, the BJP spokesperson since morning have been taking the Khalistani name. Ma'am, I live in Punjab. We have fought against the Khalistanis. Khalistan is not an issue in Punjab. Number three, what I want to say is that they are saying this is political vendetta. Well, when you try to spoil or vitiate the atmosphere in a state, in BJP rule states, it's all right. It's okay. They won't let you do anything.
No, but the fact, AAP Singh Grewal, that parallels can be drawn so clearly between what happened with Jignesh Mevani, even what happened with Navneet Rana, and today what has happened with Tajinder Bagga makes you no different from the people that you have criticized.
No, ma'am, there's a difference. What happened with Disha Ravi as well. What happened was that Jignesh Mevani was picked up from Gujarat. He was driven through all the BJP ruled states and nobody objected. But with us, it is one thing. Ma'am, they wanted to test the resolve of the Aam Aadmi Party government and the Punjab Police.
But what happened finally? Tajinder Bagga's return to Delhi?
No. Let me just answer. Ma'am, the Attorney General of Punjab has made it very clear that every aspect of today or the whole episode was videographed. And we will put it.
No, there will be a postmortem. There will be a postmortem that I'm sure everybody is going to do. But you make a very serious allegation against the Delhi Police, and I have to get Mahesh Verma to respond to that. Mahesh Verma, Mr. Grewal is saying that the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab sent Punjab police officials to intimate the Delhi Police according to the procedure that Mr. Chandar has just explained. So they're saying that they buy the book, and your police in Delhi, the Delhi Police has detained Punjab police officials yesterday when they came to tell them about Bagga's arrest. This is a very serious allegation.
इससे बड़ी बात ये है कि जो हमारे अभी पैनलिस्ट हैं, जो हमारे आजाद साहब हैं, विक्रम सिंह जी हैं, सुमित चंद्र जी ने जो बात कही है उसको शायद इन्होंने ध्यान से सुना नहीं कि उन लोगों ने क्या कहा इस केस के बारे में. इस बारे में उन्होंने जिस तरह से बात कही कि जिस तरह से पंजाब पुलिस
सुन लिया सबने क्या कहा सर, बट मैं आपसे सवाल पूछ रही हूँ एक बहुत स्पेसिफिक.
जो सवाल वो नहीं है, सवाल है कि जिस तरह का एक पॉलिटिकल एक वेंडेटा के साथ जो काम किया जा रहा है और जिस तरह का एक पॉलिटिकल मर्यादा को भूल के अरविंद केजरीवाल एंड पार्टी एंड गैंग जो काम करने जा रही है इस देश में, वो निहायत ही मतलब गैर कानूनी है, गैर मर्यादित है. एक राजनीतिक बहसीपना का एक अगर कोई सबसे बड़ा उदाहरण है तो ये आज की घटना है. अगर इस तरह से राजनीति में कभी इमरजेंसी भी था, इमरजेंसी के दौरान जिस तरह से पुलिस उठा के जेलों में ठूसती थी उसके बावजूद
नहीं, वो सवाल हम पूछ रहे हैं, वो सवाल हमने आम आदमी पार्टी के स्पोक्सपर्सन से पहले ही पूछे हैं कि किस ग्राउंड्स पर ये किया गया, क्या ये पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा है. ये सवाल हमने उनसे पूछ लिया है. उन्होंने एक बड़ी सिंपल सी बात कही है कि दिल्ली पुलिस ने पंजाब पुलिस पर्सनल को डिटेन करके रखा.
कैसी बात आप कर रही हैं?
मैं नहीं कर रही हूँ, ये ग्रेवाल साहब कह रहे हैं, मैं आपका रिएक्शन मांग रही हूँ.
पंजाब पुलिस नहीं, अगर यही बात होती तो पंजाब पुलिस के 50 लोग घर में घुसते, मारपीट करते, मोबाइल छीनते, उसके बाद उनके फादर रोते हुए आते और पुलिस स्टेशन में किडनैपिंग के अपने बच्चे का रिपोर्ट लिखाते, ट्रांजिट रिमांड नहीं लिया।
नहीं, जो मुद्दा बीजेपी ने आज उठाया है कि ये अरेस्ट इलीगल है, सर मैं उस मुद्दे के बारे में पूछ रही हूँ। आपके पार्टी ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आज बड़े सिंपली ये कहा था कि दिल्ली पुलिस वाज नॉट इन्फॉर्म्ड as per the protocol when there is an interstate arrest. The Punjab police ought to inform the Delhi police before taking any such action. The BJP has said that it is illegal because this information was not given. Aam Aadmi Party saying you detained the Punjab police when they tried to give information.
उससे भी जरूरी बात ये समझने की है कि अगर सेक्शन 41 में एक आयोग किस लिए आपको समन करता है, नोटिस करता है कि उसको पूछताछ करनी है। अगर पूछताछ करने के लिए, और इतना हीनियस क्राइम, कोई टेररिस्ट नहीं है बग्गा अभी एमएलए के चुनाव लड़े हैं, स्पोक्स पर्सन है।
नहीं, हम मेरिट्स ऑफ द केस की तो बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं। मैं तो आपको एक फॉर्मेलिटी पे क्वेश्चन पूछ रही हूँ कि क्या ये डिटेंशन हुआ था?
नहीं, ये डिटेंशन सवाल है कि इस तरह के झूठ बोल के इस बात को, गैर कानूनी काम को, इस देश में गैर संवैधानिक काम को, मैंने आपसे ये कहा एक राजनीतिक पैसीपना है, ये कायराना एक कृत्य है, इसकी जितनी भी निंदा की जाए कम है। और रही बात जिग्नेश मेवानी ने जो बात कही प्रधानमंत्री के लिए, वो कोई भी देशवासी उसको सुन के,
जिग्नेश मेवानी ने पीएम के खिलाफ ट्वीट किया, आपकी सरकार ने वही एक्शन लिया जो आज बग्गा के खिलाफ लिया गया आम आदमी पार्टी से। देयर इज नो डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू।
मैम,
फॉर द ब्यूरोक्रेट्स
आई एम, अरे वर्मा जी एक मिनट रुकिए।
और उसके बाद अरविंद केजरीवाल 20 डिफॉर्मेशन के केस में
मैम, कैन आई आंसर?
अच्छा वर्मा जी, उन्हें जवाब तो देने दीजिए।
घुस गए,
अरे
उसके बाद हम इनको उठा के जेल में बंद कर दे।
अरे सुनिए,
मतलब बनता है
मैं मतलब बताता हूँ मैम। फॉर द ब्यूरोक्रेट्स, आई एम अ 90s kids, आई हैव सीन यस प्राइम मिनिस्टर, देयर इज ऑलवेज अनदर लेयर ऑफ रेड टेप. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, what the BJP is saying is that we will do whatever, we will spread hate, we will protect our hate mongers, and you can't do anything about it.
But you're essentially saying that you've taken a leaf of their book because you've done exactly the same thing.
No, ma'am. No, we haven't. Now let me get to the point. In Punjab,
I have to say I have only 10 seconds left.
Give me 10 seconds. In Punjab, there was a culture that whenever the government was changed, SHOs were changed, there were cases put on everybody. Today, you can ask anybody in Punjab, that's not happening. But when you make
crime Delhi mein hua, chief minister ke khilaf
like I said, every aspect of what has happened today raises many questions that we'll continue to ask. I'm afraid I had to interrupt you, gentlemen. Thank you all very much for joining us. Short break here. Coming up on the other side, we spoke with Tajinder Bagga's father about what happened today. Listen into that interview. प्लीज बताइए हमें कि आज हुआ क्या?
मैडम जी, सवेरे 8:30 के लगभग का समय था। मेरा दरवाज़ा नॉक हुआ, मैंने दरवाज़ा खोला, 2 सज्जन बाहर खड़े नज़र आए। मैंने उनको अंदर लेके बात करना शुरू किया। अभी बात शुरू की ही थी कि बाहर से हैंडल खोल के दरवाज़ा खोल दिया गया और घर के अंदर धड़ाधड़ एक करके लगभग 15 बंदे आ गए। उन्होंने तजिंदर को पकड़ा और उठा के बाहर ले जाने लगे घसीट के। तजिंदर ने पूछा क्या बात है, कहाँ ले जा रहे हो, तो उन्होंने कोई जवाब नहीं दिया। उन्होंने कहा चलो हमारे साथ। तजिंदर ने कहा कि मेरे को पगड़ी बांध लेने दो, मेरे को सर पे कपड़ा बांध लेने दो, तब मैं चलता हूँ। उन्होंने उसकी नहीं सुनी और घसीट के बाहर ले जाने लगे। और ये गतिविधि देखकर मैं अपने रूम में गया। मैंने अपना मोबाइल फ़ोन उठाया और जो ही मोबाइल चालू करने लगा, एक बंदे ने मेरे के ऊपर आके मेरे को पकड़ लिया, कमरे में ले जाके मेरे को मोबाइल मेरा छीनने लगा। जब मैंने हाथापाई की तो उसने मेरे मुंह के ऊपर पंच मारा और एक पंच मार के गले के ऊपर, कंधे के ऊपर मेरे को नीचे बैठा दिया।